Hello YouTube, WarMech here, bringing you in my opinion, a wonderful gameplay. I'm using my model 1887. I've got sleight of hand, quick draw, steady aim, and damage. Damage definitely the way to go on this gun, not range. Normally I would say range, but definitely not for this gun. Anyways, so actually before I go on what I was going to talk about, my next gold gun is going to be this gun. It'll be up on my channel. It'll be on tips how to use this. This is an amazing gameplay to me. I go 62 and 15 in a team tac game, so there's only 4 other people on the other team. And a lot of people are like, oh, why do you play team tac? All the sucky people play team tac. No, they do not. Thank you very much. That's what everybody thinks. So all the tryhards go and play team tac thinking all the sucky people play team tac, and then it's just a bunch of tryhards battling each other. Anyways, on to the topic I wanted to talk about. So I wanted to share this story about... so everybody knows about internet predators, you know, these people that pretend to be people they're not. And I actually had an experience with this. And needless to say, it scared the shit out of me. So, back in middle school, 8th grade, I would have been 14, I believe. Yeah, I'm 18 now, so 4 years ago, would have been 14. And, you know, I had an instant messenger thing, AIM, which is AOL, you know, AOL instant messaging. And, so, I use this to, you know, just talk to my friends, like what most people do. Just talk to friends or meet new people. And so, one day, me and a bunch of my friends, not close friends, just friends I knew from school, and I just had on my friends list, we get a random IM from this person called Hey Y'all 098, and I remember this IM address, like their whatever thing, whatever the hell you call it, their gamer tag on IM. I remember that perfectly because of how big this was. So, you know, when you're 14, this is when the point where you start wanting to bang the shit out of everything, and that is just basically how things are. You just want to bang everything that moves, everything that looks hot, you want to bang it. It's pretty much how things go. And I'm still kind of like that, sorta. I have a girlfriend now. I don't want to bang everything that moves, just want to bang her. Anyway, oh, I really hope she doesn't see this, because anyways, we'll go on. Okay, anyways. So, this person, Hale98, we didn't think anything of it. You know, we're 14, and, you know, they always say, don't talk to strangers on the internet, but, you know, we thinking, you know, she sent us pictures of her, like, nude or in bikinis and stuff, and they were all of the same person, so, you know, we're thinking, oh, well, it can't be, you know, fake or that bad or anything, so we're, you know, just like, oh, there's a potential, you know, bangable object. And so, most of my friends thought it as suspicious, and they stopped talking to her after about a week. But me and one of my friends, we'll call him David, and so we kept talking to her, which is actually him. We kept talking to her for like 2 months, and, you know, we would, you know, basically sext over the internet, which is pretty common nowadays. But anyways, that's what we would do. Not that much, because, I mean, we're 14. Shit, we don't know that much about it. Well, then, you know, the world has changed in 4 years. You wouldn't believe how much kids have changed in 4 years. It's kind of, you know, so many pregnant people at 14 now. It's kind of ridiculous. But anyways, we didn't know a whole lot. So, you know, you know, she was 17, or supposedly. He was actually like 30-something and fucking creeper. Anyways, so he told us that she was 17 and that she was in South Carolina. In reality, he was in Virginia and trying to, see, this doesn't make any sense, but we know it's legit because we called the cops and everything, but we'll get to that in a minute. So anyways, you know, we're talking to her, you know, sexting, that kind of thing, and one night, it's really late. Well, late for us. You know, we're 14. It was probably about 11:30, 12 at night. It's on a weekend. And she was like, so where do you guys live? I want to come over and see you. And me and Philip were like, oh, we don't think that's such a good idea. And at that moment, she signed off. And we were like, well, okay. And then, so me and Philip were just talking, you know, about the situation. And then I get another random IM from somebody, say their gamer tag or whatever you call it, saying I want to kill you. That was their gamer tag. So I was like, what the hell? At first I thought it was a joke, and then they started reading off like what stuff I'd been talking to, you know, the Hey All girl about, and saying that I'm going to kill you and blah 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 blah, and that I will kill your whole family. So a little bit of backstory on the kill part. We have this shop behind the middle school here, and it's called the Blue Monkey. It's just like a shop, you know, of antique crap. But it's like right behind the school. It's like 50 feet behind the school. You can walk there. And so this guy was just like, if you're not at the Blue Monkey tomorrow after school, you know, I'm going to go find you and kill your whole family, that kind of thing. So at that moment, me and Philip were like, oh God, you know, we're like freaking out. We don't know what the hell's going on, and I just said his name. Oh well, his name's Philip, not David. And his name's Philip, whatever, doesn't matter. I haven't talked to Philip in a couple years anyway, doesn't matter, fuck him. Anyways, I'm mean. Anyways, so Philip calls the cops, saying that this is happening, gives them, like, the gamer tags. I don't, what the fuck do you call it? Screen name. That's what it is, screen name. Gives them their screen name, tells them everything. And what I'm doing is I'm keeping them preoccupied. I'm just like, oh God, no. And I'm just saying, like, who are you? Who is this? What's happening? And all this crazy shit. And so Philip's on the phone with the cops. I'm sitting here, like, crying, trying to figure out what the hell's going on, saying, I don't want to die. Please don't hurt me, blah, 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 blah. And, you know, I'm like, treating this as if it's a hostage situation. Like, I'm, like, being held by gunpoint, hands tied behind my back, and I'm just sitting at home on my computer. And this dude's over in Virginia creeping on me. But see, the crazy thing is he knew where I was. He knew where I lived. He might have, I don't know how. Oh, and I love that triple. That is the best triple feed ever, in my opinion. Anyways, sorry. So this guy, I don't know if he just knew where I lived because of, he, like, tracked my IP or whatever. But basically, what happened was I call Philip, or he calls me, I don't remember, and he was just like, all right, I called the cops. They're gonna, like, track him down, blah, 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 blah. So the next day, like, we don't know what's going on. Philip didn't have a cell phone. And we were trying not to tell our parents. They went to tell our parents because then we ended up getting grounded for talking about crap and all this. And then my dad would have went all rage mode, went to Virginia and shot some dude in the face. And, so we had to wait till we got home. And the first thing I did was sign on to AIM, and they weren't on. I was like, okay, good. And then Philip calls me and said that the police tracked him down and got him. I was just like, oh, thank God. But, you know, this whole experience is just really creepy. You know, you're sitting here thinking somebody is somebody who they are. You know, they're sending you pictures of them and all this crazy crap. And one of my friends actually did this. And actually, never mind, he's not a friend. He's actually a fucking weirdo. And he did this to a bunch of us. I didn't do it because I knew it was him because he kind of, like, blurted it out. But he did this to a bunch of people on Facebook last year. And they thought it was just some hot chick. But he's actually this really fat, black, creeper dude who's apparently gay. That's another talk we could talk about, this kid. I have so many stories about that dude. But anyway, this is the creepy part of the whole, like, what do you call it? The internet predator. This is the whole creepy part. About, I don't know, 2 years after, and I don't know if he went to jail. I don't know what happened. We don't know what happened. All we know is that he was subdued, or whatever you call it. He was taken care of. About 2 years later, he might not have went to jail, but I was on IM. I don't use IM anymore because, you know, what's the point? You know, I have a freaking phone that can do just about any freaking thing. But about 2 years after, you know, I get on IM, and I probably stopped using IM. I don't know, probably around that time. That Hey All person signs on, and I was just like, oh God. And I actually had the nerve, and I messaged them, and they didn't reply. I sent a couple messages, they didn't reply, and it was just really creepy. And basically some really old dude, well, not old, but, you know, old, you know, he was doubling my age. I was like 14, he was 30 something. I don't know his name. All I know is that what the basic information that they gave Philip and what Philip told me, that Philip didn't ever tell me the name. Either that or I just don't remember. All I know, he was in his 30s. He lived in fucking Virginia, and he was a child molester, apparently. But after that, they was never signed on again. I never heard from him ever again. But that is just goes to show that people really do like to rape little kids, and it's just not nice. You know, I rape little kids on Call of Duty every day, but I'm not trying to stick my wiener in the butthole. But, you know, people are like that. People, I don't really understand why people like to do that. I wouldn't want to rape or even have sex with something that's like half my size or a fourth my size. That'd be really weird and wrong. And, yeah, so this commentary is wrapping up. I hope you enjoyed my sexual predator, pedophile, creeper dude story. So a little bit of news next week, couple days actually. Come check out my channel for how to use this gun, so you can go 62 and 15 yourself with it. And yeah, all right. This has been WarMech. Hope you enjoyed.